The most dangerous woman in the room is never the loudest. It is the woman who has entirely stopped seeking permission to be magnificent. Stop breaking your own beautiful heart trying to force yourself into places and hearts that you have completely outgrown. They will never see your worth if they are committed to misunderstanding you. Hear me well, my dear. Take a seat right here beside me. Pour yourself a cup of warm chamomile tea and just rest for a moment. You look so deeply tired. Not the kind of tired that comes from a long day of physical work. No, I know that look intimately. I wore that exact same heavy look for decades. It is the deep, soul-crushing exhaustion of trying to be everything to everyone, of constantly molding yourself to fit into the little suffocating boxes other people have built for you. You have been running yourself completely ragged, haven't you? Seeking a word of approval, a tiny nod of validation, a mere crumb of affection from people who do not even know how to love themselves properly, let alone love you. You wait for them to say you are good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, quiet enough, or maybe just loud enough. But my sweet child, as long as you are waiting for them to hand you your worth, you will remain entirely empty-handed and forever hungry. Validation from the outside world is a bottomless pit. You can pour your precious youth, your vibrant energy, your boundless love, and your very soul into it, and it will still echo with total emptiness. Today, I want to talk to you about a very specific kind of freedom. A freedom that comes quietly, often after a period of intense pain and countless tears. It is the majestic, unbreakable power of a woman who simply decides she no longer needs to be validated by the world. It is the exact moment you finally stop auditioning for your own beautiful life and start simply, authentically living it. Let me take you back a long, long time ago to a chapter of my life I rarely read out loud. When I was a much younger woman, somewhere in my early 30s, I was what you would call a chronic pleaser. Oh, I would bend over backwards until my spine nearly broke, just to make absolutely sure everyone around me was comfortable, even if it meant I was silently suffocating in the corner. I was married to a man who, bless his departed soul, was incredibly stingy with his praise and generous with his critiques. He firmly believed that holding back his approval would keep me grounded, but all it really did was make me desperate, anxious, and terrified of making a mistake. I cooked elaborate, time-consuming meals, standing over a hot stove for hours, just hoping for a simple compliment. I kept our home immaculate, scrubbing floors until my knees bruised, hoping he would finally notice my effort. I dressed a certain way, spoke a certain way, and I even muted my own joyous laughter because he once coldly mentioned it was far too loud for a respectable lady. And it wasn't just him, my dear. I sought validation from my critical mother-in-law, who always had a sharp, cutting word about my parenting skills. I sought it from my friends, always volunteering to be the one to compromise, the one to apologize first, even when I had done absolutely nothing wrong. I genuinely thought that if I could just be perfect enough, accommodating enough, quiet enough, they would finally look at me and say, "You're worthy of our love." Do you know what actually happened? I lost myself completely. I became a transparent ghost haunting the halls of my own life. I remember the exact, defining morning it all finally shattered. It was a bitterly cold Tuesday in November. I was standing alone in front of the bathroom mirror, holding a wooden hairbrush. I looked at the woman staring back at me, and I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the weather. I did not recognize her at all. Her eyes were dull and lifeless, her shoulders were slumped under an invisible weight, and her spirit felt like a tiny, flickering candle caught in a brutal hurricane. I realized in that terrifyingly quiet, holy moment that I had spent 34 years of my one and only precious life trying to prove I simply deserved to exist. And for what? The people I was trying so desperately hard to please were still miserable, still critical, still infinitely demanding. My endless sacrifices had not healed their brokenness, but they were surely destroying my soul. Right then and there, looking deep into my own tired, tear-filled eyes, I made a solemn vow. I decided I was completely, utterly done. I was done waiting for their applause. I was done explaining my personal choices. The very next time my husband criticized the way I folded the laundry, I did not quickly apologize and rush to fix it. I simply looked at him, with a calmness that scared even me, and said, "If it bothers you so much, The closet is right there. You are more than welcome to fold them yourself. Oh, you should have seen the absolute shock on his face. He was speechless. Not because I was cruel, but because I was completely, undeniably unaffected by his disapproval for the first time in our marriage. My inner peace was no longer tethered to his shifting opinions. That is the miraculous day my real life finally began. Now, I will not lie to you, it was not an easy transition. When you finally stop seeking validation, people will try to make you feel guilty. They will call you selfish, cold, or difficult. They will say you have changed for the worse. And you must look them in the eye, smile gently, and say, yes, I have. Because the old, fragile version of you, the one who survived purely on their breadcrumbs, is dead and gone. You must mourn her passing, but you must never, ever allow anyone to resurrect her. This story brings me to the greatest, most profound truth you will ever learn about your own inherent worth. True, unshakable power is entirely silent. The woman who desperately needs validation walks into a crowded room and nervously wonders, do they like me? Am I dressed right? Am I impressive enough? But the woman who has fully found her own worth walks into that exact same room and calmly asks herself, do I like them? Are these my kind of people? Do you see the monumental difference, my sweet girl? It is a fundamental, earth-shattering shift in gravity. You stop being the small, dependent moon, desperately reflecting someone else's light just to be seen, and you become your very own blazing sun. When you no longer need people to validate your existence, you become incredibly dangerous to manipulators, to narcissists, and to anyone who relies on your deep-seated insecurity to control you. They cannot use your fear of rejection against you because you have already fully, unconditionally accepted yourself. You finally realize that someone else's tragic inability to see your immense value does not in any way decrease your actual worth. If a man cannot see the magnificent treasure you are, that is a sad reflection of his poor eyesight, not a testament to your lack of brilliance. If friends only remember to call you when they need a favor or an emotional dumping ground, politely walking away from them is not a loss. It is a profound, life-saving victory. My dear, you must understand deep in your bones that the desperate need for external validation is a prison built entirely out of smoke and mirrors. We are taught from such a young, impressionable age to be good girls, to be perpetually agreeable, to swallow our anger, to keep the peace at all costs. But I am here to tell you that often, keeping the peace with others means going to a brutal, bloody war with yourself. It is time to sign a permanent peace treaty with your own beautiful soul. You do not need to explain your life choices, your career, your partner, or your boundaries to anyone. You do not owe anyone a debate about your dignity. If someone overtly disrespects you, you do not need to yell or scream or cry or force them to understand exactly why they hurt you. You simply, gracefully remove their access to your precious energy. The absolute most powerful response to disrespect is not a fiery outburst of anger. It is an absolute, unshakable, deafening silence. Let them sit in the cold, quiet void of your absence. When you finally stop chasing the elusive ghost of validation, you suddenly have so much beautiful time and abundant energy return to you. You start doing wonderful things simply because they bring a smile to your face. You wear the bright red dress because you adore the color, not because you hope some stranger will compliment your figure. You speak your mind clearly and firmly because it is your authentic truth, not because you want people to blindly agree with you. You become incredibly grounded, deeply rooted in the rich earth of your own being, much like a mighty, ancient oak tree that never once asks the passing wind for permission to stand tall and reach for the sky. Reflection, looking back now, from the quiet vantage point of more than 80 years walking on this beautiful, complicated earth, my heart aches deeply for the precious years I spent agonizing over what other, flawed people thought of me. I have attended the funerals of people whose fleeting opinions I once valued far above my own joy and happiness, and standing by their graves, I realized with startling clarity that all their harsh judgments died right there with them in the dirt. The only thing that truly remains at the end of it all is the life you actually lived, the unbridled joy you actually felt, the love you bravely gave and received. I deeply regret the countless days I spent shrinking myself down into bite-sized pieces so that others could feel big and important around me. but I do not regret a single, solitary moment of the profound peace I have felt since the day I finally decided I was enough exactly as I am. When I sit out in my garden now, looking at the wild roses climbing the trellis, I don't ask them to be anything other than what they naturally are. They have thorns, they have soft petals, they are perfect. I finally afford myself the exact same grace. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your life right now. Look at the relationships that constantly drain your spirit. Look at the people you are exhausted from performing for. Ask yourself, if I stopped trying so unbelievably hard today, would they still be here tomorrow? If the honest answer is no, then they are not holding you up, you are carrying them. And it is far past time to let them drop. Your hands are full of all the wrong, heavy things, which is exactly why you cannot grasp the beautiful, light things waiting for you. The universe simply cannot hand you the magnificent peace you deserve until you bravely drop the cheap validation you are begging for. Listen closely to an old woman who loves you dearly and wants nothing but the absolute best for your soul. You are a breathtaking masterpiece. The vibrant paint is already dry. The canvas is already perfect. You do not need anyone else to walk by, pick up a brush, and arrogantly try to fix your beautiful strokes. It is time to step out of the noisy, crowded gallery of public opinion. Stop asking the blind to critique your magnificent colors. Trust yourself implicitly. Love yourself fiercely, unapologetically, and completely. When you do, the rest of the world will have absolutely no choice but to adjust their eyes to your radiant, blinding light. Go out there and truly love, my beautiful, strong girl. Live entirely for you. If my humble words manage to find a warm home in your heart today, please gently press the subscribe button so we can spend more quiet, healing moments together like this. Share this message with another remarkable woman who desperately needs to remember her own immense strength today. And down in the comments below, I want you to write these exact words. I am my own validation. Let it be a sacred, unbreakable promise to yourself from this day forward. Until we meet again, wrap yourself in love and take exceptionally good care of your precious heart.